All right, this is going to be the first video for Notes 30A. It's a review of some of the recent topics we've done. So the first part is going to be all about solving quadratic equations. So this is going to be problem number 1. All of these, oops, grab the wrong thing. All of these little bits, parts, and pieces. So let me go ahead and zoom on in here to problem number 1, part A. First thing, is it equal to 0? And the answer is yes, it's equal to 0. Second thing, I'm gonna look at the left side here. Do we have a GCF? No, but it is factorable. All right, so let's see what we got here. I want to multiply to 36 and add up to 13. Kind of feeling like 9 and 4 there, make them both positive. 9 times 4 is 36, 9 plus 4 is 13. So set each factor equal to 0. Go ahead and solve each of these problems. So one answer is going to be P is equal to -9. Subtract 4 from both sides. And I'm going to get P is equal to -4. All right, so that's, part A done. Part B, is it equal to 0? Yes, it is. Do we have a GCF? No, we do not. But we can factor. So x, 7 and 4, -7, +4. So x minus 7 equals 0, x plus 4 equals 0. Add 7 to both sides. So we're going to get x is equal to +7. If I subtract 4 from both sides, x is equal to -4. I did make this comment before, but don't forget, you might start recognizing this. If your factor is x minus a number, your answer is going to be the positive of that. If your factor is x plus a number, your answer is going to be the negative of that. So it swaps signs. All right, moving on down to part C here. Is it equal to 0? Yes, they all so far are. That's great. Do we have a GCF? And the answer for this case is yes, we do. So I'm going to go ahead and factor out a 3. So k squared plus k minus 6 is equal to 0. And then I'm going to factor the rest of this. So k, I'm going to get 3 and 2, positive, negative. All right, so doing a quick double check, because I know I ran that really quickly. 3 times -2 is -6, and then 3 minus 2 would be the single k in the middle. All right, so I definitely have my right factors. I'm going to set each of the factors equal to 0, except I'm not going to do them all. I am not going to write out 3 equals 0. I already can tell, even saying that makes my head hurt. So no, this factor does not have a variable attached to it, so it is not going to give us any solutions. I am only going to set the factors that are equal, set the factors with variables equal to 0. So k plus 3 equals 0 and k minus 2 equals 0. So if I subtract 3 from both sides, that's going to get me k equals -3. And then if I add 2 to both sides, that's going to get me k equals +2. All right, sliding on down to part D here. Is it equal to 0? Yes. Do we have a GCF? Unfortunately, no. So let's go ahead and factor this one. Now, factoring method here, you can use the AC method. I live in the world of guess and check, so that's my preference. So I'm going to do 2y and y. And I'm thinking, let's see, I need a 5 there. So if I do 4 and 3, if I do +8, -3, that'd work. And what am I talking about when I do this guess and check? This 2y times y is 2y squared. So that part checks. -3 times 4 is -12. That checks. Now this 5y in the middle, that one's the one you got to be super careful about. You're going to take your inside here, so -3y. Take your outside here, that's +8y. I know it's kind of hard to see these, but you had -3y and +8y. When you add those up, right, when you combine these two, you're definitely getting that 5y. Now, I don't need these, right? I don't need to show that check, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that. But what I do still need to do is set these factors equal to 0. So 2y minus 3 equals 0, y plus 4 equals 0. I'm going to add 3 here. All right, so 2y is equal to 3. But I need to do that last step of also dividing by 2. Oop, that is a horrible 3. Let's try that again. So y equals 3 over 2. So there's one answer. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 4 from both sides, which gets me y equals -4. So 2 factors, 2 answers, and that is the end for part D there. All right, sliding on down to part E. Let's go ahead and factor this, right? We don't have any GCF, so this is a difference of perfect squares. So split the M, split the 36, make one positive, make one negative. And that's going to be M plus 6 equals 0, M minus 6 equals 0. So I subtract 6 from both sides. That's going to get me M equals negative 6. And if I add 6 to both sides, that's going to get me, well, M equals 6. All right, so part E is all done. Now, part F looks very similar to part E. For this one, though, what I'm going to do is, while it's not equal to 0, I only have this M squared. So I'm going to go ahead and take the square root of both sides. So this one, this particular equation, it's not in relation to anything, so we definitely want to include the plus or minus. Square root of 36 is 6. And it's okay to write your answer as this. If you wanted to write it out, you could tell me M equals 6 and negative 6 and have a little comma there. That's okay too. All right, part G is just like the last one. I'm going to go ahead and take the square root of both sides. So that's going to give me M is equal to, immediately I'm writing down that plus or minus, right? 2 solutions. And as far as the square root of 8 goes, I'm going to go ahead and off to the side here remind you that 8 is 4 times 2. The square root of 4 is 2 root 2. And so that would be the final answer here, the simplified version of root 8. So 2 root 2. If instead of doing perfect squares, you're like, nope, I want to do a factor tree. Well, if we factor tree it, we could do 2 times 4. There's 2. 4 is 2 and 2. So what we end up with here is 3 2s. Since we're talking about a square root, we've got a pair of, and I'll use purple here, right? A pair of 2s. So the pair of 2s goes outside the root. What didn't pair up goes underneath. And notice, of course, that those 2 answers match. They will always match, provided you are mathematically sound. Okay? All right, moving on to part H here. Right, for part H, I'm going to go ahead and factor this, right? It's equal to 0. I do not have a GCF. I can take 4x squared and break it as a 2x and 2x. I can take the 25 and break it as 5 and 5, make one positive, make one negative. And so then I'm going to take 2x minus, whoa, that's a horrible x. There we go. 2x minus 5 equals 0, and 2x plus 5 equals 0. So if I add 5 to both sides, so 2x is equal to 5, divide by 2. So x is equal to 5 over 2. That's one of my answers. And opposite over here, we're going to subtract 5 from both sides. So 2x equals negative 5, divide by 2. So x is equal to negative 5 over 2. All right, so let's see what else we have here. All right, so that is the end of problem number 1, dealing with all of the solving quadratic equations. I'll go ahead and make another video for the bottom part of this review. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, please do let me know.